I'm gonna do a desk calendar with quotable quotes on the bottom. No, don't want the pictures.
No pictures?
No pictures.
Oh,
no.
I don't know. They tell 1,000 words. Speaking of words, you've had a few letters this week, I believe.
Yes, whoops. Apparently a few people were very offended by something I said last week, and I just wanted to say that it wasn't anything intentional, wasn't anything malicious, and next time I point a pun at someone, I'm going to check to see if it's loaded first.
Oh.
Happy?
By the way, and if there are any wogs watching... Send the letters to me.
It's all right for you, mate, isn't it? All right. On to this week in sport. The week started with the event that ended the Olympics, the men's marathon. And I don't know, this was an event that used to be a bit of a highlight for me, but I'm not so sure anymore. Don't you get the feeling that maybe it's just been pushed so far now that it's become a bit unnatural?
Well, no one's died yet.
Well, we got damn close. I can tell we had the winner carted off on a stretcher, and poor old Deke had to be wheeled out of the stadium in a wheelchair, and Mona's staggered to the line, 40-something, looking just so gone that even a dozen Mars bars wouldn't have revived him. And I don't know, just normally I find marathons inspirational, but the last few I've watched have been really disturbing. I just think that perhaps we've pushed it a little too far. And when you think about it, they finish with such horrific injuries. I mean, they inflict all this violence on themselves. If athletes did it to each other, they'd be screaming, the people would be outraged and saying, you've got to ban this. But because they do it to themselves, it's all right. I mean, when the first gold medal gets awarded posthumously, I think we'll all realise it's gone too far. But I don't know how far it's got to go before we get to that point. But actually, the very saddest thing about the marathon was a story I heard about apparently a few hours after the race had been going, they decided, well, that's enough, we've got to get on with the closing ceremony, so they slammed the stadium gates, and these poor stragglers are left, you know, struggling up the hill to the stadium, and the gates shut, you know, let me in, let me in, and it's like, go away, you're too late.
Yeah, a pack of whingers.
Yeah.
You don't wind up in hospital, you haven't tried, I don't know.
Yeah, have a go, you mug. Yeah, run till your feet bleed. But I don't know, I just thought it was all just a bit too much.
I think we're being a bit cruel there. They did try hard, but...
They did, that's what I mean. I think they're being a bit cruel. I think, you know, the event itself is. Not me. I'm not being cruel this week. I'm being a good girl.
You are.
The other significant event at the start of the week was Steve Elkington, the Aussie golfer, losing in a playoff at the Buick Open. Now, I think this is wonderful that someone else is doing this for us now instead of Greg Norman. It's taking...
What was that name again?
Steve Elkington.
No, the other one?
Greg Norman. Norman, you remember him?
Norman.
Yes, anyway, think about it. You'll come back to you, the blonde guy, you know, the shark.
He won something.
Yeah, funny. Oh, I don't know if he ever won something, did he? You got a good memory.
Yeah.
But no, the funny thing is, you know, he loses in a three-way playoff and he finishes third. And if this had been the Olympics, if it had been an Olympic event, the commentators would have been hysterical. Bronze for Australia, what a courageous effort. But it's like, oh, third in a golf tournament, loser. Everyone's really depressed, but...
Would have been a hit in New Zealand. You'd be the new Prime Minister over there.
But, well, Greg Norman, we were just talking about that Norman chap. Greg Norman.
Greg Norman.
Greg Norman, yeah, that's the one. Did you hear there's a story recently that he won't be coming to Australia? Hang on.
He was also known as...
No Finn jokes, the Scandinavians will be writing to you. But no, this is a true story. He says that he probably won't be able to compete in the Australian Open this year because he wants to spend Thanksgiving at home with his family.
Ooh.
Thanksgiving? I mean, is that a dinky-dyed true blue Aussie excuse for not playing a tournament? I think that's amazing. I mean, Greg, if you're watching, have a nice day now. You'll wipe him, I reckon. But while we're talking about...
You're a cruel woman.
Yes, and this is me being nice, you know. The other thing about Americans this week that's really impressed me, did you see the new Olympic mascot for the Atlanta Games?
Oh, yes.
I think we got a shot of it here.
What is it?
That's it. I mean, it looks like Louis the Fly from the old Mortine ad.
Hey, look, we all started off that way, you know that, don't you? I think they weren't practising safe cartooning when they drew that.
Yeah, I saw Woody Allen play one of those in a movie once, I think, yeah. But the thing that really gets you thinking about that kind of logo some advertising exec, it's the name, what is it? That's really brilliantly, monumentally imaginative.
Great idea.
Yeah, this is what I reckon's happened is some advertising exec's been paid $1 zillion for this because he's walked in and they've said, Larry, what do you think? You know, what should we call it? He goes, what is it? We love you, Larry, you're a genius, let's run with it.
It was probably an accident. He hadn't drawn it yet. He spilled his coffee on it. Just a big blotch down. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, no, what is it? Yeah, it's like we've got a new big banking account. Which bank? Yes. What a genius. Yeah. That's, you know, after an expensive lunch and a couple of bottles of Chardonnay, that sort of creativity comes easily to those sort of people. But it's not really what is it, it's what it's worth to the Yanks, which apparently, what did you tell me before?
$500 million in merchandising.
Something for us to think about. Wish I could think of something worth $500 million. I'll go away and ponder.
Here's something worth almost that. She's that meaty morsel from Melbourne, ladies and gentlemen.